to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97
Yes, sir. Hot
YouTube
97,
channel.
the new movement. DJ Drewski still in the mix, putting on for the Tri-State. And I'm surprised he told me we never sat down and had an interview. My guy D.Chamberz is in the building.
What's up? You already know I'm 6'2", no time for the small talk. Living with that warrior mentality, staying motivated. G5 flying, whoop they.
Yes, and all that talk, if you follow him on Instagram, all that motivational talk happens daily.
Yo, I do that because, you know, I live with a warrior mentality. And a lot of people don't understand, like, coming from Coney Island, they just look at warriors.
Right.
They don't think about people that's making a way out and live with that mentality.
Well, speaking of Coney Island, that's what you've been repping for a while now.
Yeah, yo, man, Coney Island, last stop in New York. There's more than basketball players out there. You know what I mean? It's a lot of talent. You know, but shout out to all the NBA players.
Right.
But just like I was talking behind the scenes, we never really get looked at for music.
Why do you think that? Is it too close to Brooklyn? Why do you think?
I think because our forefathers, you know, shout out. I don't even think a lot of people know Buckshot is from Coney Island.
Right.
I don't think a lot of people know certain artists that are from Coney Island. But people know, like me, Nims, Torre. There's certain artists that's on the come up that's really causing an impact out there. But I think people just, the families and the last names from the Marburys, the Telfairs, the Lance Stevensons, you know what I mean, Isaiah Whiteheads, when you, basketball is, you know, it's a group thing. It's easier to be attached to than music. It involves talent and it involves like a lot of competitiveness.
Right.
And, you know, and I think sometimes when outsiders come to Coney Island, we don't show no love back because it took a while for us to embrace out-of-towners. A lot of people don't come to Coney Island. Let's just keep it a stack.
For people outside of New York, right? When they think of Coney Island, they think of the boardwalk, the big Ferris wheels, the hot dogs, Nathan's.
Pause on that too. Last time somebody told somebody about hot dogs and Nathan's, it didn't go down too good. You know what I'm saying? We was like, yo, you let him. Shout out to Sway, man. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? But he asked
no glizzy talk. No glizzy talk.
Yeah, they be like, yo, you ate Frank's. Like, yo, come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's more than that in Coney Island. Like,
right.
You got talent. You got people that, you know, that have a lot of broken dreams as well. But you got guys like me that's pushing them forward daily. And the young homies.
What I was trying to get to, outside of just the music, it's not all pretty neither.
No. See,
Coney Island is not.
It's the last stop in New York.
Right.
I think, you know.
It's pretty rough.
We think like islanders. We near the water. We used to nothing, but we all great thinkers. We all athletic. We all fly. And I think it's the first date, you know, the best first date free to come to Coney Island. You go stay by the water.
But stay on that side. You don't want to get caught walking, doing, you know, the back blocks.
I mean, some do, you know, unless you got something to offer. You know, it's like a give or take thing. But like a lot of times people are just focused on making a way out. So that's the game plan, to put people on and make a way out. A lot of us, our ancestors and people before us went to jail or they died. So people just follow the routine. So now you got to follow the people that's changing the cycle pattern.
So D.Chamberz, a young man growing up on Coney Island, when did you decide, yo, I'm gonna do music. I'm gonna become an artist?
Believe it or not, I tell people this all the time. Music was always around me. But, you know, I was the last people who probably thought that I really was going to do music because I was so caught up in the streets, had tons of beef. Everybody know I was glued to 36th Street. To talk about doing music was a joke.
Right.
Because, you know what I mean, it was the Smack DVD era. And, you know, people were bagging up. We looking at Young Jeezy, Gucci, man. These dreams look far away. You know what I mean? Because that's what they made us believe. Like, if you're not like this artist, or like when Pat Poose came out, we was like, okay, a nigga from Brooklyn came out, and then you see Uncle Murder, so then that's when people be like, oh, okay. But as far as like battle rap, you had dudes that was battle rapping in Coney Island before the shit. Blind Fury was out there battling, like, you know what I mean? Then you had Nims, and that's what Nims was known for. But like music, mainstream, it never was a topic. Shout out to Torre, because I think he was like the first one with like
radio records,
music knowledge. You know what I mean? We never had music knowledge. We all was in the streets. We have-nots.
So at what point did you say, I'm gonna be an artist, I'm gonna start making music?
It came late in the game. I think when I was tired, mostly to take music serious is the question. I always was doing music. So I think somewhere like around 04, 05, believe it or not, was my first open mic with Mental Supreme. And that was like $10, and we all was just me, Cortez, all of us was young.
Right.
Just Billy the Kid, you know, that people that I see today, a lot of people didn't make it past that. Some people grew up, they got jobs, cribs, they cashed their dreams out. But then it's a lot of people like us who's still going. So once I saw I could make $1 from music, and I came home like in 07, 08, like by 010, when I was at, and you'd be like, oh, damn, it took that long. But 010 is when I made the decision to take it serious and be
Full
like, yo,
time.
I'm ready, I'm willing to pay for a video. I'm willing to go to this club, and it's not about me. Like, that's why I used to just go to Contra, go to certain places where I knew people would be at.
Right.
And people who heard the name, never knew the face, and then I just learned a different side of the business, and I was like, okay, I know what to do from this point.
Because I think, because you said you was moving around, I think that's one of your strong points as an artist who you do it pretty much solely, independently, but you know how to build relationships. You know what I'm saying? You know how to
I know how to
connect.
separate the two because, like, all right, I can't bring certain people in my demographics that I be with on my off time sometimes.
Right.
You know what I mean? To an environment where, you know, it just be uncomfortable either or because I had to figure that out. And then once I figured out, okay, this is where I'm heading, how can I attach certain people to certain things?
Right.
That's when it made sense to me because I think sometimes I tell people I came in the game backwards. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm talking about, like, people knew me for being on the battle scene with Smack, but when I was running around with Chanel, I didn't know nothing about red carpets and shit like that.
Right.
They're like, what is the record you have? And I'm like, I was on Smack. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know branding at the time. I didn't know how to work with certain artists to get certain questions asked and critiqued and how to bring people to my side of town to understand something because everybody come with something different and where they from. But nobody really has no goals, no end games, and everybody to themselves. Nobody's really sharing information, platforms. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people wait till they see the next person do it to reach out. Like a lot of people know you, but you've been putting people on. And then once people caught on to what you was doing, then a lot more, but those doors been there.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying about what I'm doing, because I've been here, I've been helping artists that, you know, that get played, that, you know, getting they shine and they light, and they'll tell you, like, I'm Mr. Miyagi to a lot of these artists out here. You know what I mean? I showed them the right way to go, the strategic, and get money.
No, we're going to get to that point about other artists. We're going to get there.
Oh, no, I'm not here to name drop.
I see you do it. No, I'm saying we're going to get to there, but just as far as D.Chamberz goes in your career, I feel like you even knew at certain points when to transition, when to change up the music, whether it's production, you know what I'm saying? So
shout out to Fred the Godson, R.I.P. He was the first.
Fred.
You know, shout out to R.I.P. Fred the Godson. And I remember I give credit to Mav Cortez, Hollow the Dawn. I remember when I first met Fred, like I met him at open mics, but I was able to talk to him when he had the studio in Co-op City. He was the first one out of all of us to be on radio. So when I saw that side, I'm like, oh, damn, we getting dissed at all these battles. This is just me now. We getting dissed at all these battles. My friend is on radio. I'm getting the bad end of the stick all of the time. Like, and I'm like, all they go in the club and they talking about battle rap. I came in this game to do music.
Right.
I don't battle rap. I just do good business moves in battle rap. Shout out to Smack, shout out to Beasley, shout out to Chico. So, and once I figured out that, I was like, oh, Don DeMarco plays my music, but this is all battle rap. This is people that's not going to get me $1. This, you know, I think the strip clubs is where I figured out, you know what I mean? Shout out to Sanchez, shout out to Cortez. I give dudes their credit. I don't want them, you know, hashtag me talking about I'm a foul nigga up here. You know what I mean? But following that blueprint of getting your music heard through strip clubs is how I got bigger. Because I didn't get bigger because of a freestyle or nothing like that. I figured the music, I figured the crowd, I figured out what people was moving to. I saw who was moving. And, you know, shout out to Chicano. He used to be with me all the time.
Right.
Chicano. He was the first person to, like, tell me, like, yo, Lloyd Banks got something in Bay Ridge. I'd be like, yo, bro, I got to be in the house by 9. But he was adamant to show me how things work. And I was just like, yo, if he can figure it out, I can figure it out. No disrespect. Chicago, figure it out. I got to figure it out. But still, I didn't have a brand. So once I figured out the brand, like between 012, 15, once I had the record with Fred the Godson, and then Uncle Murder, Shake the Block, that's when people was like, oh, he can rap. He's by himself. He's not around battle rappers. How did I figure out strip clubs? That record with Manolo Rose. All of my niggas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So once that, and then I think, like, you know, be honest with you, I don't know why Manolo Rose fell back from the record, but I would like to say it was like the Tax Stone, the Mav situation. And it was just
weird. A lot going on at
it was like, me and him didn't have no problems, but.
But you never asked him, you never brought it up. You said,
I asked him. I asked Rose, and he was just like, yo, he was busy. So I was like, okay, cool, because I'm not going to front. He did perform with me in South by Southwest. So that was a good look. We did DigiWax.
And at that time, his records was pretty much moving.
Yeah, but then I came out with ImFrenchTho, and then I was like, it's a different ballgame. Like, things happen, things change. You know
That's part of the game, though.
You know, RP Chinks, you know, because I had the record for my homies, and just when I thought I was going to shoot the video with him and bring Coney Island and Fall Rock together, he passed.
Right.
And then there was like a dry spell for me for a while, and I had to figure out like, then like the young homies was coming in, Younger Man on fire, mad stuff was going on. But that being out there in the Bronx, shout out to everybody on East Tremont, Clinton, you know what I mean? For that time frame, I was in the streets trapping for real. Like music was there, but they like, yo, what's going on with that shit Manola Road? But you know what I mean? I'm fighting open cases. That whole time I'm on ImFrenchTho, I had 4 years hanging over my head. I was in a program. I was on the B train, getting off by Morris. Like, it was there. You know what I mean?
It's hard to focus on just the music when all this is going on in your life.
And I think it gave me time to be like, yo, why this is not happening? Why this is not happening? Why this? And this is me thinking sober. And I'm leaving the program trying to figure out my life while everybody's talking about their life. And that's where I think I got better. I was like, you know what? My man, shout out to Comatose Rose. He's into photography. I need to get him with me, and we need to create something over here. These shows, I always feel left out. Like, I always see the same names back at the end, but they know exactly who I am until I pull up. Let me create my own show now.
Right.
In fact, I'm going to pay the DJs I know. That's why I always stuck to the code. You know what I mean? I shout out to DJ also when I was working with him. You know what I'm saying? I would have him, and I would reach out to you, and we would create our own concerts. And once I start figuring out that, I think the industry knew, like, oh, hold on. Because they finding footage of these young artists that are popping now that came through my circuit, and I just left the radio show like no time for the small talk.
Right, we're
gonna talk about.
We're gonna get to that too.
Oh, okay,
right? Because we're gonna get to the new artists that you still support. We're gonna get to because you do a lot. It's not just the
I'm
music,
a mogul.
right?
I told people like my inspiration comes from a lot of artists that people slept on, like the believe it or not. Nick Cannon does great business. They may not like his music, but he does great business. Like Master P, same thing. Like Rick Ross, it took people a while to like Rick Ross. Like Diddy, they hate his guts, but when you take behind the scenes of music, he did a lot of great things. And then I think even 50 Cent, when you think about all those things, those are the guys I look at, like the Cam'rons and those guys. I think like them because I understand the business and use music to propel other things.
Right.
And feed other people.
But you spoke about Chinks, spoke about Fred the Godson, you know what I'm saying? And you work with these guys. You just put together a tribute, a DMX, Black Rob tribute record.
Yo, shout out to Cover Umbrella Studio. I've been working with COD, and I think since we locked in, it's been beautiful. I met Black Rob's whole family in front of Jefferson. We shot the video in front of Jefferson. We just did that. I think they're chopping that up. Shout out to Barack, shout out to Rock. These are family people that was with Black Rob on his last days. These are people that's telling me stories that I didn't never phantom, and like you wouldn't believe all this was going on Lower East Side, and I'm glad they like what I did as far as the record, because everybody knows DMX was my favorite rapper. I used to have the bald head before. I still got the bald head, BBG, Ben Ball Gang. We out here, you know what I'm saying? But like, I was always a fan of DMX and his story, and watching his documentaries prove like this industry always shaded the real ones. That's how I take it, and when he got to the point where he was barking, running around, that's when they hurt him.
Right.
And I think that's the same thing going on today. So it almost gets me like, yo, should I flip out today, tomorrow? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I just know you can't flip out. You got to stay humble because they will close those doors.
It's a whole different time, too, from when X was running around doing what he was doing, and you see the difference. Today's a little different. People are more sensitive, take things more personal, you know what I'm saying?
You know, you got to be very mindful of your words because people will take a great interview and just take the worst parts of it and flip your words against you and try to hold you back. Nah, yo, he's
shout out to Chicano.
Shout out to Chicano.
He's in the building.
Yo, he's definitely in the building. You know, I get mad at Chicano sometimes. I be like, yo, Chicano, man, what's up, man?
Yeah, no, we
he's
all
a
know.
businessman now. He's hustling.
We love to hate him.
You know, but he does the right thing.
Right.
You know, shout out to Chicano. But Chicano also saw my grind behind the scenes. Shout out to Magic, the car shows.
Right.
Like, one thing people could say, a lot of people, if they wasn't familiar with my music, after my live shows, killed them. They like, that's what I think a lot of people gravitate towards me. So sometimes they need to see the video or they need to see that. Because sometimes with the new sound, the way things is changing, they got to wait till they see the person really perform it, or you see them, the aura is different, and then people vibe to it. And I think I had more luck in this pandemic than my whole career. And I did the most. I outworked a lot of rappers, signed and unsigned. You know what I mean? Like, and I got a lot of good lessons from Method Man too. Like, he would just talk to me for hours.
Right. Which, you know, we could get into that. But you spoke about the pandemic. Did you take out any SBA loans?
I was definitely inquiring about it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say a lie, but I have real businesses. I can really, no, you ain't gotta fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to tell you is, I do got businesses.
Okay, so just let me hold something. That's it. That's what I was trying to get.
I'm trying to tell you how you can get yours too. You know what I'm saying?
So we gonna keep that between us. Don't tell everybody.
No. But guess what?
Method Man. We don't care about SBA.
All right, cool.
Listen,
all right, cool.
We gonna do what we do.
It's not scamming if it's good business, like legal business. All right.
See that D.Chamberz talk.
All right.
Method Man. You got a record with Method Man.
Shout out to Method Man. All right.
That's streaming crazy too right now.
It's the most numbers I ever seen as an artist all this time. I would have thought like other records that was on the radio already will take off streaming wise, but actually that record, Rap with a Legend, I didn't even put on World Star, and we just did Vivo, YouTube, and certain platforms like all other streaming platforms, and that one streamed the best. So, and I caught him right in the middle of power. Like, come on, you know, he was the ill lawyer on power.
Right.
So it was dope because I always knew him from when he did the record Double Barrel with Math, and I would always see him in passing. But I always felt like my friends kept Method Man away from me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm keeping it 100. Like, I don't fucking lie on him. You know what I'm saying? I always felt like when they got out with him, they never like, yo, Chambers, come on over here.
Pull up. We in the studio with Meth.
Never. You know what I'm saying? So
you
like,
see it on the gram the next day.
Yeah,
like,
but
man, they could have called me.
No, I'm just saying, you know, it is what it is. So like a lot of the times when we would bump each other, it was always real. So I ran into him at China Mac's video shoot, and he's like, Chambers, why we don't got one? Say no more. Went to the studio that night. He gave me the verse back the next day.
Crazy.
And I was in the middle of the pandemic. Like, he gave me the voice note, and he wasn't his brother because yet he was just thinking about working out.
Right.
And he locked in, and we had this long conversation, and he was just like telling me about being patient and being observant and knowing the business. And there's some things that turned him off, but he still have the love for the people that are like, he remind them of when that time frame was there, that culture part.
So when an OG like Meth decides to work with you,
I'm still blown away.
Right. It's a different type of feeling you must have. But then I'm just trying to get to the point where now, you know, we've done events together where you put on young boys, you produce an event so that young artists, new artists could come perform. And as an artist who's still working, why is that even important to you at this point?
I think it keeps the blood flowing. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times it is money.
Right.
You get it. Whether it's not, you're not getting rich, but bills is getting paid. And I think when I think people see that you could bring X amount of people together on a high scale, they respect you more. But artists, we fuck with all DJs, but it's just like it's never reversed back. And I don't understand that part of the game. I'm not here to ask you.
Right. Well, I ain't got the answers. I'm not like them DJs.
No.
I'm not like them other dudes.
Listen, you that's why you moving the movement. But these are the questions that a lot of people be afraid to ask, you know, and sometimes, you know, it become a tug of war with the sound. Because you got people that are like, no, I'm for the streets. And then, you know.
They're not really outside.
You know, whether they outside or not.
They're really not outside,
Okay. Then people be like, you need to sound like this. And then you got people losing their identity in this culture, just try to get with the DJ that's popping.
Do you feel like all that back and forth and advice and need to sound like this and do this ever kind of, you know, confused you when it comes to your music? Because you can do the bars, then you could go drill on them.
I'm telling you, I'm ashamed to sung, man. I do it all, man. Like,
is it because
I evolved with shout out to Punch. You know what I mean? I know a lot of DJs disagree with him right now. Okay.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Shout out to Punch. Like, Punch used a great word when it came to D.Chamberz. The word was evolve. I don't have a problem with it. And I think it's easy for me because when I'm already doing the concerts, plus not to mention when I was co-managing studios, I'm hearing all the sounds and I'm not a hater. I'm creative. Shout out to Nice and Wavy. They got new sounds. Shout out to Cover. I think it's the age group, the sound, the market, and where you're heading next. And a lot of people get lost in once things don't start selling, they start doing what other people was doing. And shout out to Benny the Butcher. You know, those guys, they keep their sound. He jabbed with it here and there, but it's right back to the bars.
Right.
A lot of people get lost, and the next thing you know is love songs that the dude got his shirt off, that is with like you're hiring models, they don't really know you like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot going on.
There's too much going on.
Dudes get, you know, extensions. There's a lot of shit going on, my niggas. Like dreads, this, that. Not just you. I'm just talking about rappers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't get extensions. My shit. No, matter of fact, I did have some.
No. I wouldn't fuck with you.
Right.
But I'm talking about rappers. That the culture has changed, so a lot of people lose identity. And I ain't saying that's a bad thing, but I think they got lost in the sound trying to please everybody else and forgot they self. That's why with D.Chamberz, that's my real name. You, Duval Chamberlain. You know, I could give you me, and that's the hustler, and that's what I do.
That's what you get.
You know what I mean? And that's the time that I'm on. That's what's in my music. And I will never let my sound be boxed in. Never,
Right.
never.
So, besides yourself, right now, today, who are some of the artists from the town that you watching, you work with, that you credit? You know what I'm saying? Right now, today, who would you say?
I mean, I gotta give credit. All right, you got
Go
Coney
ahead.
Allen from 36th Street. You got my homie Smoke Gang Mac.
Okay.
He doing numbers. You know what I mean? I fuck with him. Check him out. Smoke Gang Mac. You got Buck. He's doing numbers. Shout out to Buck. Shout out to Water Guard. I see what he's doing. You know what I mean? My advice to you is when you see artists not doing the right thing, don't go public right away. You never know what can happen behind the scenes to work out a better decision. But that's shout out to Water Guard. Who else? You got H2O, The Killer.
These are all Coney Island artists.
All Coney Island artists, man. I'm talking about shout out to my dude Mike. He got that song 30 Assist. That's one of my favorite songs off camera. And it's a lot of artists that are just doing their things. If I ain't shout you out, pardon me. These are the artists that I know I see on a daily. Shout out to Quay Bands as well. I ain't gonna leave him out. Quay Bands, Black Sav. I can't forget Black Sav. He's part of the young kids. He sound the hood saying like he's the Coney Island A Boogie, but y'all go decide for yourself. And it's a lot of artists that I do take in, but I deal with a lot of hate too. So I'm walking out the house with a vengeance. Like I'm walking out like Killer Cam and 9-8. You know what I'm saying? Like get to the cars, fly, swaggy, and I'm out. Like, and if you want to do business, you want to work with me, I realize it's not just rap we're doing. I come with a platform. Like I try to put people on, and I move like how the bosses move. Only thing is missing is the check. But I'm so independent, they probably think I got it already. I think that's one of my biggest faults.
That will come eventually. The checks you want will definitely come.
Endorsements. I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Hot 97, the new movement. D.Chamberz in the building. We talking a lot, about other artists, but you got a brand new single out right now. Good Fit.
Good Fit. Ooh.
Going crazy.
Shout out to Fat Boy. This a 7th grader made this. Gangster.
7th grader designed this.
A 7th grader designed this. I just had him on the show. Shout out to Fat Boy Clothing. Look him up. Never stop. Whoop day. You know what time it is with that. You know what I'm saying?
You got like the Good Fit challenge going on too. A lot of people
Shout
dancing.
out to everybody. Shout out to Secret Bombshell. Shout out to everybody that's involved with it. I never thought I'd be on TikTok, but hey, times change. The song is fire. Got a new movement sound. Shout out to Cover. He produced it. And I don't got, you don't really got to do too much. It's a good record and it works worldwide.
Didn't I see like a girl in a hospital bed doing a video to something?
Yo, shout out to Taz. And that's another one I met through my radio show, No Time for the Small Talk. She came with a lot of like different energy. I mean, different energy.
She was in the hospital doing TikTok
She
videos.
just got out today.
Wow.
And she did that from the hospital bed. She said that shit made her move. She got out the hospital bed and she got to it, man. You know what I mean? And that's like, some people overlook that, but that's what music do to people. It uplifts you. It makes you get up and make you want to do something. You know what I'm saying?
Was that the purpose of Good Fit? To just make people feel good?
I think it was to show people that I could keep up with the time, show people good music, and you know what I mean? And that's always going to be business in the music. So if you got clothes, holla at me. That's a good fit. Sneakers, sneaker cars. Then we talk about the shoulder moves later. You know what I mean? But there's money in between the music. I always make sure my music is in line with something I can sell.
Got it.
Always.
Smart man.
Very smart.
Now, you mentioned the radio show. You said you met Shorty through the radio show that you have.
Right. No time for the small talk. Shout out to Ice Chill. Shout out to Crystal. Shout out to Five Stacks. Shout out to, my man Jackpot. And like I said, I created this when people were just creating all these concerts. At one point in time, concerts used to be $1,000. Then it went to $5. Then it went to $4. Then it went to $2. But then I was just like, when these artists was performing places, that's all they got was they little 1 or 2 songs and they was off it. So I was just like, what if you get a photo shoot? What if you get a radio interview? You get extra looks behind the scenes to push what you're talking about.
Just content, more content.
I was like, at first, shout out to Comatose, but I tell them, yo, man, y'all trying to turn me to Big Tigger. Like, what y'all trying to do here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have it in me, but I always talk that slick talk. I always ask great questions. And I just kept doing it because I like doing it. I like the amount of people, the quality of people that we bring.
Right.
Whenever they think about people coming from out of state, they be like, yo, Chambers, your show's still going? I want to come to your show. And it's became a thing. So I be like, how far you trying to go with this? I can get you the Chusky. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I always still find a way to work with people from the outside to come towards the industry. If one thing this industry knows, that I'm well-rounded.
So
in all aspects.
How can people tune into the show? When does it air? How can they get into it?
It's every Tuesday, 8 p.m. to 10. You can download the DTF app. It's online. You can download it there. You can go check it out. You could go to No Time for the Small Talk. You check all the links. It'll keep you updated. We got the YouTube channel that we building, and it got like all the episodes. You'd be surprised. You see Fabio before the beef with Drizzy. We got some vintage stuff on there. We got Jacquay with dreads on there. We got who else we got? We can keep going. It's a lot of people, man. We got Money.
You ain't got me up
Money
there.
and Violence. Hip Hop Mike came up there.
I was never invited to the show.
All right, guess what? We gonna do that because we gotta talk about your album, what you do for the culture,
right?
And how much you did from the back. I remember I was in a situation just like this. It reminded me 2012. Live Up to the Hype. And I remember you was like, Chambers, you better hurry up, come here if you want to get the drop. And it was just a drop I was chasing. And I came all the way to Hot 97, 395 Hudson.
Yeah.
And we did that outside. And I was just like, yo, that's how hungry I was for now. And even including yourself. Because I watch you weather the storm. And look what's happening now. When you got your first event space.
Right.
That's when I was like, oh, shit. I got to figure shit out. I don't look at just the artist. I look at the owner in the building. I look at how the DJ is. I look at different things.
Right. Every aspect.
I look at different things. And I think that's when I realized I'm not just an artist. I know I'm a mogul. I know I'm built for something big. And when it comes to this music, people going to look for me one way or another.
So we got the music out. Good Fit is the single going crazy. We got the record with Method Man. You got a feature with Benny the Butcher.
Shout out to Benny the Butcher. You know what I mean? A lot of people thought he was just going to smoke me out on that record. You know what I mean? I kept up with the good guy. We had a good time to that record. But I tell people, shout out to Carlos. He told me, he was just like, yo, Chambers, I know you try to be versatile and stuff, but these guys talk just like you, bro. Like,
right.
They talk that talk. And, you know, at that time, I think it was Conway was more in the front at the time at SOBs. And I met Benny the Butcher because I told him about Carlos. And once we linked up at SOBs, and this is like 3-4 years ago. So, like, when he's weathering the storm, like, I'm telling people about him. People like, yo, this music ain't never coming back. You bugging. Not even a year. Jay-Z stands next to him. Everybody calls it amnesia. Now it's Benny the Butcher everywhere. He's sitting at the Knicks game. I had to tell him, yo, bro, Nets, what are you doing? It's black and white. He thought I was bugging. I wrote, you go check online. Like, I'm serious about them Nets, man.
Is he a Knicks fan or he just got the tickets?
That is a good question.
He might have just got the tickets on some, I'm Benny the Butcher.
I mean, you swinging around Rock Nation, you might get tickets.
Right.
You know, things happen.
You get tickets to a lot of things.
You get tickets to a lot of things.
Even the Rock Nation brunch that everyone wants to get
I heard
tickets
about them
to.
brunches. I got a couple suits, but I heard about those brunches, you know? It's a lot of politics, a lot of great things people want to be around.
Right. Well, outside is slowly opening back up. Are we going to get more D.Chamberz shows going live?
I got tons of music. I got tons of talent. I got the Year the Jet mixtape, like my boy Fortune is putting out right now. And he got so many fly young homies coming with talent throughout the whole Brooklyn. And most importantly, I don't want none of these young people to get caught up in this CJ thing. You know what I'm saying? Don't get caught up in that. Go, do your thing. Do the music. You know real shit. You know it's weird. It's a weird topic. Move on. You know what I mean? Move on. That's the only thing I talk about because people got to elevate and evolve. And it's always going to be, and if you're not thinking about it, I was like, oh, damn, this is how people go to jail all the damn time. Like, and it'd be good people too, but it'd be corny stuff we put the microscope on, man.
So we're not even going to focus on none of that?
Nah. I got records with Method Man. You crazy? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? Like, Benny the Butcher, you kidding me? Like, you know.
And that's how it should be, though. That's how all the artists should move. You know what I'm saying? Don't even pay attention to any negativity.
But I think sometimes the fans do that. Like, they heckle you to the point where now you're like, I'm not getting bullied today. And then they do something reckless and, you know, they out of here. But it's the same revolving door. But you don't see bosses and moguls every day. Like, you see a lot of gangsters. You don't see a lot of bosses. You got people that say they bosses, but
are they really?
I don't know. Like, you tell me. You know what I mean? Whether you throw your price, do they holler back?
Right.
I don't know. Some do, some don't. A lot of people don't handle business because a lot of people just want to get all the time. They just want to take. Nobody want to bring shit to the table. And I think when people get tired of that and they boss up and they get a whole bunch of people, that's when the hate come too. So I think you just got to be mindful of what you're doing out here. You know what I mean? Music is second and third.
D.Chamberz in the building, a new movement live. new records out, new movies out,
Whoa.
radio show.
Whoa.
Anything else that we missed that we need to talk about that you got going on?
You know I'm more chestnut of this rap thing, right? So that's acting. You know what I mean? Shout out to Gat Murder. I'm in the Brooklyn way. Shout out to Rude Boy. I'm in the Cycle. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Boss China. She threw me in pieces. That was my first look. IMDb. I wrote my battle rap movie. Shout out to Smack. He gave me the cosign. I've been working on this battle rap movie. Because of the pandemic, it slowed down. Shout out to Deon Taylor. He wrote the movie Black and Blue, Fatal. So I've been following him and I've been talking to him. Shout out to Orange and Nate. He has that movie, American Skin Movie. If you really look at it, I was the first one to do the freestyle. They posted it and it went viral. Diddy commented on the movie. They didn't even know that was my freestyle. So like, it's a lot of things I do behind the scenes. But I think movie in the film world,
that's the next thing.
I'm more chestnut.
You're doing it now, but that might be a full-time job.
I love acting. I love acting. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I take this every role I play is serious.
Right.
So that's how I look at it. I mean, shout out to Spike Lee because he was also had inspiration on that because I went to John Dewey. A lot of people like, you went to Dewey? Yeah, but you know, it took a lot of high, knowledge to be in Dewey, and that was like film, theater, art. So I guess that's another reason why I'm able to orchestrate a lot of the things behind the scenes from the shows, concerts,
right,
live stages, acting, and I'm working on Past the Rides. I want to do a short film / web series for Coney Island. So I'm putting that together too, but I can't wait to really lock in on this battle rap movie because, I mean, come on, the last real best battle rap movie people saw was with 8 Mile. So mine's is called Before the Battle, and there's just 4 different walks of life come together. But some people gonna think I'm talking about other people's lives, but it's just a great story.
Well, we gotta wait. We gotta wait for that.
You can get a role in that too. We need a DJ.
Listen, I'm here.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
I did reality TV,
so this
but
is
I
the
think
best way to get it.
I could do some acting too. That reality is half acting. You know what
the
I'm saying?
checks is there. I'm gonna make sure you got something.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
D.Chamberz in the building. Tell them how they can keep up with you and follow you, social media, websites. Talk to me.
Man, you can follow me on Instagram, D.Chamberz. Spell my name with a Z, not with an S, because they sleeping on me. DChamberzCIW, WMApparel. No time for the small talk. Follow that. Follow WarriorMentality Music Group and follow Digital Drip Mag as well. Just tap in on all platforms. You just type in D.Chamberz. You see all my stuff. Subscribe to my channel. And I try to stay away from the politics, and I watch a lot of the bloggers and podcasters. But I got a question to ask you as a DJ.
Okay, good. Because you said you asked good questions earlier. I was going to tell you.
Let me ask you something.
Ask me something.
Do bloggers ever put artists in a great light, or is it always negative? I'm just asking.
I've seen bloggers, talk about positive things.
No, they talk about positive things, but do they put the same way they quick to be like, oh, this guy does this guy does that, this guy does this? Do they ever be like, this guy has a new project today, he's going to school to write for these guys? Like,
as an artist, your goal, right, is to put out good music so people can stream it. As a blogger, their goal is to put out content that people will click on. So I'm sure by just doing
the answer's
tests, that the negative headlines, the negative posts, the nasty, the gossip is what people like to click on. It's unfortunate.
I don't.
But they just doing what they got to do to get the clicks.
Because I'm gonna tell you, to be honest with you, because I'm gonna start challenging bloggers too. Because I think I'm gonna start challenging bloggers and set it off, Mike. I don't want y'all to think I'm ducking that shit. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, like, I think the 5 questionable bloggers, something I'm working on the side.
Okay.
And I'm just reiterating the information they putting out. And I think that sometimes we gotta show the brighter side of artists, the lighter side of greater things, not just going to get a chain watch and, jumping in the pool with the Marys and shit. Like, that's cool, but like when they do the other shit, let's start highlighting that. That's what I'm talking about.
I agree with you. I just think they feel like people are not going to click on it.
No, they could do all of that, but add that in there.
If you start rapping about a whole bunch of positive stuff and you compare it to your music talking about the streets, I think you're gonna get more streams on the street music.
You're right, because you got dudes like Master P, got his own oodles and noodles. It is healthy. Nobody eat that.
Right.
They still gonna eat the shit with
it's
the
unfortunate. But yeah. I think over time people will get more in tune. I think this pandemic woke a lot of people up. Attitudes change, lifestyles change. You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes to health, relationships, people are starting to realize, okay, we need change. We need more positive energy. So I think over time we'll get to that.
I think you got to remember, everybody comes from their own jungle, and everybody has their own animals and their own habitat. And with these artists nowadays, they're more hungrier. and it's no humbleness with it. It's sometimes thinking the best way to get heard is being unapologetic.
Right.
And I think that's what leads on to the next. But at the same time, people, the energy is so much there, we get lost in dancing behind people getting murdered. I think we get lost in that. But, you know, I think there's other ways to just put the message in the bottle. You still put all that fly shit in there because the goal is money. You wouldn't be rapping. If it was for free, if you really thought about it was for free, you wouldn't be doing it. Everything costs money. So let's figure out how to bottle that in a way to get money and less of the other shit.
Listen, I'm with you. We only can play our part and do what we do, and I think we're doing a good job at it. Before we get out of here, I want you to introduce the new record. We're going to get it on right now. Man,
it's your boy D.Chamberz 6'2", no time for the small talk. The name of this record is called Good Fit, produced by Cover. Nice and wavy. I give a shout out to y'all because I got another project with y'all, but this one I'm dropping out right now. It's Good Fit.
Good Fit. Oh. D.Chamberz in the building. Coney Island. It's the new movement. DJ Drewski. Bow.